All right, friends, we're back again with the fallen angel himself, JasonBlaha. Fallen from grace, man. It's Team Man, and we are going to review JasonBlaha, the gym lifting, recruiting, lifting slaves video again, because he's pumping out 3, 4, or 5 videos a day, especially on the weekend. All right, man. So let's see what Blaha has to say. Look at this body, man. This is incredible. This is sarcopenia at its best. Okay. Blaha says cheating on exercises will not help your gains. Oh, really? How do you know that? Anyway, okay, let's see what he has to say.
Ego lifting serves no benefit to you for gaining muscle or strength. Hey, everybody, I thought I would chat with you guys.
Okay, so he says ego lifting. Now, here he says cheating on exercises will not help your gains. But now he talks about ego lifting. What is ego lifting exactly? What does that entail? Have you seen people ego lift in a gym? What does that mean to you, an ego lift? See what I mean? Is that a cheating? Are they cheating or are they ego lifting? Which one is it? I don't know.
A little bit about this. And when I make this statement, I'm not saying you won't get.
Well, if you're trying to eke out as many adaptations as you can, so you could damage muscles, get an adaptation by damaging muscles, and then having them repair and remodel bigger and stronger. Well, you gonna have to cheat, bro. Get it? You're gonna have to scratch and crawl. You're gonna have to do a bunch of things to get them to come back. They're not so easy. They don't come back so easy.
Bigger or stronger while doing ego lifting. I'm saying that.
And here's another thing. He keeps talking about lifting, but remember, protein synthesis needs to exceed this breakdown. And I'm not talking about people that, well, you could try to push that being adapted and lifting in the gym, try to push that domain. So maybe the progenitor, if it comes out in a hypoxic event, or I don't know, hypoxia or oxidative stress that you're causing to the muscles in the gym, it pops out. Maybe if you overeat, right, this protein, maybe it'll donate its nuclei, possibly, so you could further some more growth in that domain. Get it? Because they do synthesize protein. That's their job. Okay.
The ego lifting itself, over using just stricter form with good ranges of motion, has no actual additional muscle growth. And this is, again, let's define.
Doesn't have any additional muscle growth. Well, they don't grow muscles. You damage muscles. That's the adaptation. That's the adaptation part, man. Get it? Jesus. But it's really, the problem is everything works in the beginning and then it stops working. Ask yourself this question. Why would anybody say, I reached my genetic limit, or I got these newbie gains? They go, newbie gains, reach genetic limit. Why would they say that? Because everything works in the beginning and then it stops working. Now your job is to figure out, why has it stopped working? Get it? Why do things stop working? Like I said, everything works in the beginning. Some things can go a little bit longer than other things, but why do they stop working? Because what happens? It's based on what? An adaptation process. That's right. Now, if you don't understand what that means, then I suggest you go look it up and study it thoroughly. What's the difference? Adapted, adaptations, and all this kind of stuff.
What we mean by ego lifting, because some people say, oh, well, doing a power lift is ego lifting. Well, no, not if it's legal with strict form. Example, a lot of guys, their regular gym bench press is an ego lift, whereas in a powerlifting meet, what do you have to do? You have to lower the bar.
Think about this. If something has adapted to whatever it is you're doing, what does that mean, adapted? Well, it could mean protected. Get it? Protected. Okay. When something is getting an adaptation, is it protected? No, it's unprotected. It's unprotected. Now, how does it protect itself? When you get an adaptation, how does it protect itself? It becomes what? Adapted. Now, how does the body protect itself when you're injecting steroids? How does it protect itself from the toxic steroids being injected, these toxicity of steroids injected in your body? How does it stop it from working? By adapting. How does it adapt? By protecting. Get it? It protects, it's adapted, and it's not working anymore. So what do? You take a higher dose. And then the body has to do what? It has to adapt. It has to protect. You get it? You understand me? Then it stops working again. Then you keep taking higher and higher dosages because everything works in the beginning and then it stops working. Why? Because it's adapted. Get it? It's protected. It's not working anymore. Get it? See, the only way you get an adaptation is when something is damaging that body and then it adapts to it. How? By making it stronger and resilient from being damaged by whatever is fucking damaging it. Whether it's muscle damage, toxins, toxicity, I don't know. Whatever you're doing to it, it's going to protect itself somehow. Going to higher like altitudes or something, it'll do something. Maybe grow a third lung.
To your chest, it has to pause until the judges give you a press command, which might be a fourth of a second, and the most I've ever had, I've had the judge make me hold it on my chest for 3 full seconds before I press.
Blackjack, poker, roulette.
It's not ego lifting. If there's any up and down of the bar, so if either side of the bar dips down while you grind through it, they disqualify your lift. And if your butt breaks contact with the bench, it's disqualified. That's pretty strict.
You want to know what Blaha is? He's like a gardener in a war. The old saying is this: you want to be a warrior in a garden. In a garden, you want to be a warrior in a garden, but you don't want to be a gardener in a war. You get it, man? That's the whole point. You want to make yourself a warrior in this garden, but you don't want to be the gardener in the war.
Right, pretty strict. You know, it's also strict even on deadlifts. On deadlifts, you can't hitch. You have to fully lock it out. So hitching means ramping it up your thighs. So people.
Here's another thing. I'm sorry, I wanted to interrupt this. I put these pictures in the community section. You might want to check it out. I show a person that has an unnatural body because he's eating an artificial diet. So the artificial diet created an artificial look. What was that artificial look? Well, he blew up really fat. Okay, so he went on his natural diet. So his body returned to homeostasis, a natural look. What does he look like? Well, that's what natural bodies really look like, eating a natural diet. You understand me? They look like that. And so I do use the comparison of the steroid guy. So when you compare the two people, they kind of look similar, right? The steroid guy, the natural guy, and his natural diet. Okay, but what's the difference between now the natural guy eating a natural diet who created a natural looking body is not artificial anymore, looking plumpy, fat, and weird, and bumpy, and yucky, and ugly. Okay, now he's got a sexy, nice looking body, right? Okay. So what's the difference between him and that steroid guy in the picture? Well, the steroid guy is continuing eating his artificial, shitty, crappy diet. The only difference was he injected these artificial plant DNA hormones, DNA. He injected plant DNA in him, get it, called steroids. And guess what it did? It gave him a cosmetic, natural look. It kind of gave him this it gave him this look that would be somewhat what you would call natural on your natural diet, only he achieved it artificially, get it, by injecting plant DNA. He never did it by eating his natural diet because he's still eating an artificial diet. So it's temporary. It's being how should I put it? It's being it's being like that because of the drug. It's staying like that because of the drug temporarily. You get it, man? Yeah, the drug is doing that. It's inducing that cosmetic look, the artificial look. See what I mean? That's why I always try to say. I say that natural people can look. You can pretty much look like a guy on steroids. Get it? But not exactly, but you could look pretty damn close. That's why the steroid people take steroids, because they all look unnatural, because they all eat an unnatural diet. So they don't know how to achieve that sexy, cosmetic, natural body. It's still cosmetic. You're going to a gym, you're lifting weights, lowering body fat, and eating a natural diet. It's cosmetic, get it? But it's naturally induced cosmetically. Now, you taking steroids is artificial cosmetics. Get it? Injecting it, trying to be like that dude. See the difference? That's the difference, yeah. And they can pretty much all lift, pull heavy weight, bench, lift heavy, natural people, whatever, I don't know. They could do a lot of stuff, man. And so the steroids, they give them an edge. That's it. You understand me? You got these androgen receptors through whatever, forced production. You built it up naturally, going to the gym, whatever adaptations. But he took a steroid so the molecules bind to it, giving him more forced production because of an influx of steroid. Okay, molecule, whatever. You see what I mean? People don't even know the difference between a natural body, fake food, natural food, how to create this. It's just crazy. He eats unnatural food. That's why he's so fucked.
See strongman do that, but no, powerlifting, they don't do that. So just an FYI, just because you're lifting for a max is not necessarily ego lifting. What we mean by ego lifting is cheating and using bad form so that you can swing around a much heavier weight. Okay?
If I have to achieve an adaptation, I'm going to cheat, swing. I'm going to do anything to eke out a new adaptation. I don't care, whatever it takes. I'm going to fucking do whatever it takes. I don't give a shit about people in the gym. I don't care about their ego lifting. I don't care what they're lifting. I don't even pay attention to other people. I do what is best for me. And if I need another adaptation, if I decide to go that route instead of resensitizing adaptations or whatever, if I decide to do that or whatever it is I'm fucking doing, then if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna go all out. There's no point going there if you're not gonna go all out, try to achieve something that you're trying to achieve, whatever it is you're doing there. There's just no point. There's no point going to a gym, lifting a weight, trying to damage muscles, whatever you're doing, if you can't go all out and eating for hours. If you can't eat for hours and go all out to build those muscles, then what the fuck is the point going there to the gym? Oh, I just went because I wanted to damage the fuck out of my muscles and then go home, eat a few bagels, and then have it shrink. What? That was the goal? What's the goal here exactly? Hello?
Notice everything I do in this video here in the background. This is all pretty strict exercises. Some of them are not 100% the most strict thing humanly possible, but they're all.
Well, there's work being done. I gotta definitely say, Blaha, there's work being done. The problem is he's adapted to all these exercises, so there's no more adaptations. He's adapted to the weight and the exercise and the movement. It's time to move on and do something different for a while so that you can resensitize the other lifts and go back to them and they may work for you. Now, I don't do it that way. I do something more sophisticated. I do full body, boom. In one shot, boom, full body, whatever you want to call it. Full body split, okay? A full body split, upper then lower, and then that's it. And then I allow it to repair and remodel, and then I put myself in an anabolic growth state. I eat. And it's really good. However you're building these muscles, however long you're building them, it's a good idea to stay in that anabolic growth state and nitrogen balance be, steady, even, so you can keep growing, because there's no point just coming in 1 week and then eating and then not doing it, and then not doing it. You lose momentum. It doesn't work. Got to constantly keep pushing that domain. Got to constantly keep being in anabolic growth state. You got to convert the catabolic hormone to an androgen so it doesn't have to compete with the myocytic androgen receptor. That will give you more force production. That will give you more strength. That'll build up more androgen receptors for force production. They control the strength. And the molecule will be, your molecules, your testosterone, your other hormones, your muscle building hormones will be higher because the catabolic hormone has converted to an androgen. It doesn't have to compete with the myocytic androgen receptor anymore. So if there's no competition, you're anabolic, your strength's going to go up, you can damage these muscles easier, and you'll get a repair and remodeling, and they'll just build much bigger and faster all the time. Better donations of nuclei, synthesized protein, and keep pushing that domain.
Pretty strict, pretty controlled, right? Everything is controlled here. Nothing is just swinging the weight around. And the things that we need to think about here, a lot of times when people are just swinging a weight up, they're taking a ton of load off of the main exercise. And normally I would say, if you're cheating just a little bit, there's probably no disadvantage for the muscle itself, as long as that's the muscle that's reaching failure, okay? As long as that's the muscle that's reaching failure, then fine. I'm still going to argue it's not optimal, but at least the muscle is getting, stimulus. But you'll see people who cheat to the point of where they are literally taking the muscle out. For example, when you see people cheat on curls, a lot of times, they don't even do the bottom of the exercise, right?
Like, think about it, 315. I know some people, they can't even lift 315 in the gym. let alone they're able to do, I mean, with good form and move without shaking or everything or anything or being, whatever, being weak or strong, whatever, man. This guy, look, he's lifting 315. I don't know, he's on steroids, something, but he's lifting it. He's not shaking. It doesn't look weak there. He's just moving it. See what I mean? But the question is, even though you can move this 315 and you can move it with good form, but how is he using it to eke out adaptations? He's not. See what I mean? That's the stupid part. He can lift 315, but he can't eke out any new adaptations doing that. Wait, why? Why can't he? Because he does it too often. That's his problem. Huh?
So they're already working the bicep less. Why? Because
that is one reason he does it too often. They're sensitized. They're not resensitized. You got to resensitize them. They're already fucking sensitized to all this shit. It doesn't work anymore. It's protected. A whole bunch of shit. It's just wasted time.
lengthened positions or stretched positions of muscles. So like the bottom of a curl, the bottom of a pull-up. That's where a larger percentage of the muscle growth occurs. Okay? Arguably, the bottom third of many exercises is the most important for muscle growth. So they'll come down. And
the bottom of the exercises is most important for muscle growth. For muscle damage, you mean the eccentric exercise? Yeah, it's important for muscle damage. But again, it can protect itself. It'll be protected. How does it protect itself, Blaha?
They don't even go anywhere near the end of the range of motion. Like they're doing a half rep. And then they'll cheat it up and then curl their wrist back at the top, completely unloading the bicep.
Oh, they will they?
Now, if you do that with a little bit of swing, only working the bicep.
Ask yourself, what's going on at the top of the bicep? That's really great if you want to be good at doing concentric exercises. Well, me personally, I don't want to be the best at doing concentric exercises. I want to be the best at damaging muscle fibers if I can, because that's the hardest to do. To damage and have them repair and remodel more muscle fibers and bigger and stronger and a whole bunch of shit. Now that's a feat, you understand me? If you could accomplish that, that is crazy. If you could even pass that knowledge on to other people and explain to them and they can repeat these things and they can get that is incredible. I'm not saying that it's something you have to do forever and ever. It's not something you have to do forever. You just do it for a couple of months. Be in an anabolic growth state, get an adaptation, and build those muscles through muscle damage. That's it, bro. And get into repair and remodel. That's it. It's not fucking rocket science. It's not hard to do that. But for some people, I say, it's hard for them to do these things. You understand me? Because they want to take shortcuts. They take a shortcut to everything. Lift a heavy weight, glycogen loading, eat artificial diet, glycogen load, and get these glycogen phony sarcoplasmic hypertrophy muscles. All these kinds of things. Take a steroid, 2, take artificial steroid, hormone, DNA, plant DNA, inject, eat an artificial diet, create more artificial muscles, and yada, 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 yada. A whole bunch of baloney kind of shit that people are doing out there. It's crazy.
Range of motion, and then completely.
The supplement market must be just laughing. I mean, it's just a multi-billion-dollar fucking industry. It wouldn't be able to survive this long if people weren't buying anything. The shelves are full because they're buying, because they want to take shortcuts. They don't want to do anything natural because they're so unnatural. They want to do everything unnatural, take shortcuts, and all these shortcuts lead to what? Nothing and disappointment and fakeness. Get it? Money will really build your body because you can actually afford to eat. Money will build your body without food, and I'm talking about being in anabolic growth state. It's pointless going to a gym, repetitively aging yourself, accelerate aging, destroying your body, your joints, this, that, and hanging up like fucking Ronnie Coleman. Get it?
Unloading it at the top and then using cheat to do it, right? Your biceps may not be getting very much stimulus.
That's why his body looks like crap. His body looks like crap because he eats an unnatural diet. Now, Blaha can literally turn those tables around, possibly. If he went back on, I don't know how it would take quite a while for it to, especially all the damage he's done to eating this artificial diet, the damage he's done to his body already. But if he was to eat a natural diet, it would be a possibility. It would definitely change his structural outlook, him. his body, his face, a whole bunch of stuff, it would probably change. Maybe his hair would even grow back. But because he's so stubborn, he's tricking you. Eat an artificial diet, tofu, spaghetti, hot dogs, and you're gonna fucking look amazing. Yeah, I don't think so, dude. Just look at Blaha.
May not be getting much. So you see that sort of stuff, and that. So you see that sort of stuff, and that level is just stupid. That's not even ego lifting anymore.
You think he rakes the grass? There's a rake over there. You think he does any work? Looks like there's some gardening stuff here. Think he ever mops the floors or does anything in here? Does he do his laundry in here or what?
That's just sheer stupidity. Because you're obviously not even working the bicep. Why are you even doing a curl at that point? I'm not saying every isolation movement needs to try to isolate a single joint, because that's not always the case. Right? We know certain muscles they're biarticulated.
Again, he's doing something artificial to lose body fat. He's using these artificial man-made weights to lose body fat. Weights don't make you lose body fat. It's kind of obvious. Everything transforms your body through food. Food will give you good health. It'll transform your body. It'll put you back in homeostasis. It'll do everything. Weights ain't gonna do fuck all. Weights can damage your body. Hypoxia, oxidative stress, muscle damage, muscle micro injuries. Yeah, it could do a bunch of stuff. Okay. But it's not gonna magically build muscle, but it can build artificial sarcoplasmic muscles because you're just pumping it, moving the weight around in your arms. You could do that with elastic bands. Fuck, see what I mean? You don't even need the weights. Just eat a lot of glycogen and use elastic bands. That'll pump it in there. You'll get a huge pump, and all these other things like fucking inflammation is transient. The pump is transient. And these artificial muscles, well, they could last quite a while, the energy in there. These sarcoplasmic hypertrophy muscles, man. But he's suffering from sarcopenia, and I just don't get why he's moving these weights to lose body fat. Dude, just a lot of jumping jacks and you can lose body fat. This is just crazy. You still will preserve your muscle. See what I mean? Because he doesn't want to lose that force production, because he knows if he stops, the fake strength that is how should I put it, maintaining these fake lifts, that fake strength that he created, lifting these man-made weights, it's maintained by lifting the weights. Get it? And if he doesn't lift the weights, the fake strength's gonna go away. This, how should I put it, this practiced artificial strength will go away. Yeah.
So different joints work, but what we mean by the ego lifting is the swinging, the cheating, grinding under a weight in such a way that lets you lock out reps that you're not capable of doing and doing multiple of them. Okay, so you shift under the load, you have the bar tipping around while you grind under it. Okay, when you're doing any of these things, you're not really using the muscle, the primary muscle, to do the work. Or you may be using one side way more than the other, which kind of create muscle imbalances. So what's the problem with it? People say, well, what if the muscle fails? Like if I do these exercises and that muscle still reaches failure, will I still achieve muscle growth? Yes, of course. You may be missing some of the important.
What kind of muscle growth? He didn't say. Is sarcoplasmic or myofibrillar growth? Which one is it?
Fibers. Even we've also made the argument, and I used to make this on certain using.
Is it both? Because one is not growth. One is based on muscle damage. That's not growth. You're gonna go through a necrosis. In other words, you're gonna go through an apoptosis, a necrosis in the muscles. You're actually breaking down muscles right now. You are breaking down muscles really a lot if it's muscle damage. Now, if it's sarcoplasmic, then yeah, you're building muscles, these sarcoplasmic phony muscles. Okay, there's a buildup there. One is breaking down, the other one is building up. Get it? Now, but even though when a muscle is damaged, how does it build up? Well, you gotta be in anabolic growth state, because now it's gotta go through a repair and a remodeling. Get it, dude?
A little body English that it may give you more eccentric overload. But I think that sort of eccentric overload has been overrated. To be honest,
eccentric overload is overrated? Why? Just look up in Google, type PubMed, NCBI, eccentric exercises. They're superior to concentric. They're superior. It says it's the number one thing that gets you this damage, muscle damage. It's everything. What are you talking about? Fuck! It actually makes you. The eccentric negatives make you stronger at doing the concentric exercises. This is crazy. What is he talking about? They're been overrated.
Doubt that it gives you any additional muscle growth over just doing a normal clean set.
He doubts it'll give you any more additional muscle growth because eccentrics don't give you muscle growth. It's the concentric that gives you the sarcoplasmic growth. Concentric gives you sarcoplasmic. Eccentric gives you myofibrillar growth through muscle damage. These muscle micro injuries. Hello, the pumping action that people get in their arms are from concentric exercise when you eat an artificial diet called carbohydrates, especially fucking, complex carbohydrates, okay? So when you pump up and not down, you're not pumping when you're down. When you pump up in the up direction, you're pumping what? For every gram of glycogen, 3 grams of water are being drawn from the skin of the muscle into the fucking muscle, bro. Get it?
A failure. Okay, probably nothing. So what are the downsides?
He's got to be the stupidest person in the world. And here's another thing. People are coming down on me because in the other video, I'm not going to erase the other video where I said something about glucose or glycogen being... I said that it was... I didn't say it was a protein. I said it was fucking similar to a protein. In other words, there are amino acids that break down to this glycogen. Get it? It's the opposite effect. It's something like I was trying to explain something. It's a polymer, okay? That's really what I was trying to say. How should I put it? That's why I said before in my other videos that muscle can break down into glucose. It breaks down to glucose, okay? It can make you your muscles can make you a diabetic. A bunch of shit, man. It's crazy. You have to go into the science and read it. Sometimes my head, I'm forgetting sometimes about certain things I'm saying in my video. But I didn't say it is a protein. Itself is not a protein, okay? But anyways, whatever, man. Okay, yeah, it's glucose. It's a carbohydrate. It is a carbohydrate. And a protein, when you see a protein, it is a protein. Okay, yes. So, why are you eating artificial carbohydrates then? Why are you eating them? If your natural diet is carnivore, like all humans, why are you eating something unnatural? Why are you eating that? Other carnivores out in the kingdom would not eat carbohydrates. They don't eat carbohydrates, dude. They don't eat them. And they eat quality meat. They don't eat like you. They don't eat putrid meat like pig, and fucking carnivore animals like fucking chickens and pig, which are carnivore. Get it? They're nasty, putrid animals. They eat quality and then they rest all day. They eat fucking antelopes, water buffaloes, fucking bison. They eat fucking amazing herbivore animals. They eat them. They chomp on them. Fuck, you got to go to the corner store. You got to pay for it. You're like, this is expensive, so I'll eat the cheap chicken and the cheap pork, which is carnivore animal. They're nasty. They have to be fully cooked because they carry worms, parasites, and viruses and shit. Now, why can you eat beef raw and not be worried about that? Well, I don't know why. Because it's a herbivore animal. It isn't a carnivore animal. Hello.
Well, how about risk of injury? If we're cheating and swinging on all of our exercises, we're putting ourselves in a lot of positions over and over and over that simply have a higher risk of injury. And weightlifting should not be a particularly dangerous endeavor. But if we're swinging and cheating, we're probably using a weight that's too heavy for us to actually lift with the muscles. And sometimes when we get into those compromised positions, particularly if there's overuse or inflammation happening, our risk of injury is higher. Hey,
so you don't want to do that. You want to be able to be strong enough to manage that way. How do you do that? By building yourself up fucking stronger, by building more muscle. The more muscle fibers you build up and they repair and remodel stronger, there'll be a prevention from you ever getting injured in the gym. But if you're weak and you just practice at this phony artificial strength, lifting a heavyweight strength, then they're going to be bullshit, man. You're going to get injured all the time.
We're running the risk of getting hurt.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you right now, injuries absolutely negatively impact muscle growth. And not just in the muscle you're injured in, you know. A major muscle pull anywhere, not even a full tear. A major pull, it's just still a minor tear. can still
Well, that's a massive injury. That's not a micro injury.
impact your ability to train half the muscles in your body. Okay?
Yeah, it'll disable you like him. He was always injuring himself. I don't know what happened now. Maybe he calmed down.
Pull a bicep or you pull a lat. You know how hard it is to train anything in your upper body?
Look at Blaha working so hard. Man, this looks like torture. What is the point of lifting these weights if you're not there to try to eke out an adaptation? What is the point of doing any of this? Remember, when you get an adaptation, it's regenerative. It's based on muscle regeneration. Yeah, it's regenerative, dude. The more you can get of these nuclei, the longer you shall live, healthier and stronger. You want to bank a lot of these nuclei if you can, get as many as you can. You want to have your muscles repair and remodel stronger, as many as you can. Yeah, as much as you can.
You pull a hamstring, you can't even do a barbell row. You can't even bench sometimes with your feet on the floor. You got to put them up straight. You got to do a floor press till it heals. So, these pulls will set you back. Injuries set you back, don't get hurt. Furthermore, recovery. We cannot recover if we use all the cheat work because we're loading the body with additional weight that is not even helping us. Right? If we're strong, we're already having to deal with a lot of recovery on our big exercises. Okay? If you're moving a lot of weight, your squats and deadlifts and things, maybe even your rows and stuff, are putting a lot of extra stress on your body already. We don't need every exercise to do the same thing to where we're using 50% more weight than we can ever actually move. Hey, it beats you up more. It reduces and inhibits recovery. And if we're not recovering, we can't.
Sure it does.
Train as hard, we can't train as much, and we can't train as often.
Okay, what exactly are you training for, Blaha? What are you training for? The horse races?
All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative.
What is Blaha training for?
And I'll talk to you guys next time.
Wasting his time. Anyways, tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Yeah, that was quite informative, Blaha. I'll see you in the next one. Comment down below helps with the algorithm. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, friends. That was crazy.